Buddy, what's going on? Welcome back to Facci Cinema. Appreciate you stopping in tonight for another episode of the Faccmonster Cafe, episode number 11 of these bad boys already. We're having a great time interviewing all these great content creators so far, and tonight is another amazing creator, collector, whatever you want to call him. I've had multiple requests to get him on the channel, so I had to reach out to him, and he was more than happy to come on. I'm talking about Ken from Mid-Level Media. Let's welcome him in right about now. There he
Hey,
is.
what's up?
What's going on, Ken?
Who the
Welcome
hell's
to the channel.
requesting to have me on?
Like a bunch of people. Pretty much half the people that I've had on were like, dude, did you reach out to Ken from Mid-Level Media? And I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't yet, but I was planning on it. So I was like, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's get him on. You had free time, so
You've had
why
on
not?
like all legends lately, and somebody requested me on here? Come on.
There was a bunch. I mean, we had Cody and Lee and the Rad Pack. Well, at least two of them. So yeah. they've been asking for you. So here you are. I'm glad you're here. I appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule to come on here and hang out on this mediocre YouTube channel, my friend. I was checking out yours, man. You're on the path to 20,000 subs, which is amazing. Congratulations on that. You have over 4 million views on your channel. That's amazing as well. So that leads me into my first question. What got you into the YouTube game? Like, what made you want to start a YouTube channel?
Well, first off, thank you again for having me on here tonight. I've been watching your channel probably for around 6 or 7 months now, and I know you've collabed with a lot of people that I interact with as well in this space. So that's how I found you. So appreciate you having me on.
Well, thank you.
I started on Instagram, and basically I just did I started like the mid-level brand, if you want to call it that, on Instagram, and all I did was want to just review new movies that I saw. I would give my thoughts on there, and then I kind of fell into the world of collecting, and I'd always bought DVDs and VHS tapes and stuff like back in the day, but I started to see all these like super cool like collector's editions and stuff like that at Walmart of all places, and kind of fell into that a little bit more. And then I got into the Blu-ray hunting channels like Cold Duder, Wet Movie One, Durant Cinema. Those are like my main channels that I watched back in the day. And I thought that was pretty cool. So those are the first kind of videos that I tried to do, was like in-store shopping videos. So that's how I kind of got my start in YouTube. And that was probably 2019.
Oh, okay. So you started a little bit before I did. So you're really, really killing it for starting.
Yeah, and I tried all kinds of things. Now I'm primarily, I would say, mostly like physical media centric on the channel. But when I was first starting, I was doing vlog videos like out of theater reactions and just movie reviews and Blu-ray hunting videos and Blu-ray reviews and unboxings and all that kind of stuff. The pandemic is what really made me start ramping up into physical media, because all the movies went away and I didn't have nothing new to watch. But physical media didn't go away during this time. You were still getting all kinds of cool releases, so I kind of fell more hardcore into that arena.
Obviously you love the physical media, but do you collect like the digital media as well along with the physical, or you pretty much just stick to the physical?
No, I don't. I haven't bought anything digitally since probably like 2016, and it was probably like some Pixar movies and stuff because my daughter was like 2 years old, and I gave away my entire DVD collection in 2016. I probably had like 600 or 700 DVDs.
Wow.
And I just sold them all for like $150 to like a half price books, and I bought like a new little 32-inch flat screen TV for the bedroom. That's what I got for it. And then I was going to go all digital, and that's when I started to buy like the kids movies and stuff. And I bought a few other movies, just some of my favorite comedies and stuff. And then probably like 6 months later, I started buying Blu-rays, and I never really like gotten into Blu-rays at that point. Blu-rays were super popular at that time. They'd been around for like 7 years, but I was one of those people that was like, I don't need to upgrade. I got all these DVDs. I'm good. And the Blu-rays are more expensive. I don't need that extra jump in picture quality, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I started buying more Blu-rays, and then, like I said, I was into Instagram and started seeing everybody show off all these cool collector's editions and steel books, and kind of fell more into that. And it just, once you fall into this rabbit hole of collecting and physical media, it's like it's dangerous.
It is.
And it's continued to be dangerous for the past 6 years that I've been in it. But but I mean, it's been a blast, and the thing I love about collecting and watching these movies and buying these movies is I do a lot of blind buying. I buy a lot of stuff I've never seen. I love the discovery and the exploration kind of aspect of it. I think that's really cool.
That is really cool. That's definitely
it can bite you in the ass sometimes, but I still like it.
I can imagine, and that's where I definitely differ. Yeah. I'm so picky that I would probably never ever do that, because I only like specific things. I'm probably like the most freaking picky horror YouTuber, whatever you want to call it, out there. I don't like what most people like, so I definitely stick to my guns of what I'm gonna buy. And like you said, I've only been collecting like Blu-rays and steelbooks for a little bit, but it is a dangerous place to go, like you said, because you just keep wanting more and more and more, and you keep seeing new things. Because I go to Instagram immediately and check your stuff, because I didn't know about the Maximum Overdrive until you posted about it, and then immediately went to pre-order it. So anytime I want to know,
I'm a bad influence on Instagram. I feed a lot of people's addictions.
You keep posting great things, and I'm like, damn it, I need that too. And no, I need that too.
Damn it, I'm addicted to it, so you're gonna be too. We're all
Everybody
in this together.
I'm a physical media guy too. I don't have anything digitally. I think the only movie I have digitally is probably Halloween 2018. I think that's the only one I have.
Yeah.
Other than that, everything's physical.
It's getting crazy with the digital stuff, man. I mean, they're just shutting servers down, and they're just deleting stuff off the platform. Stuff that you bought, you can't watch on there anymore. Yeah, I've heard stories about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick.
They don't have access to a movie that they bought on there anymore. It's like you bought it, you spent $20 on it, you paid for it to own
it's yours.
But it just goes back to the thing: if you buy it digitally, is it really yours? You know?
Yeah, you're right. They can take it away anytime, or it could get deleted on accident anytime. So,
or they can alter it completely. You know, say there's you got a scene in one of your favorite comedies of all time that somebody finds offensive in 15 years. They can straight up alter the movie that you paid for, and it's not the same movie anymore.
I did not know they could do that.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna buy those. The only codes I get are the ones that I get with the steelbooks and the 4Ks and whatnot, but I never do anything with them, so they kind of just sit here in a stack.
I usually do giveaways and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that will sell them. You know, they'll have somebody that they work with, and it's like, you know, they'll pay them like a fixed price to buy all their codes every month. I just try to give all mine away, but most of the time, like if I don't remember to give away, it just sits in there and expires.
That's what I was going to ask. It says at the bottom of the thing, like if you read it, it works until an expiration or whatever, until it expires. But how does that work? Like, do they just randomly expire, or if you don't do it within like a year, or?
So I have never personally, I bought all this physical media. I have never personally ever redeemed a digital code, ever. Back when I bought them back in the day, I was just buying it off of, online. But from what I've heard, like I've given out stuff that, it says that it expired like a year ago, but I'll give it out and I'll be like, hey, use this. It says it expired, but maybe it still works. And sometimes people will say it worked. So I don't think that the expiration date is always, ironclad. It's not set in stone.
Okay. Because I was curious about that, because I was looking at some of the ones I have, and I was like, I was going to give these away to people on the channel, but I'm not sure if they're expired. But I mean, if it isn't expired,
people like it. I mean, a lot of people out there, they don't want to buy a movie. They don't want to buy. So and they want to watch the digital, or even if like most people that follow me are physical media collectors, they may want to watch the movie first though. So they may want that digital, watch the movie. If they like it, then they can go pick it up.
All right. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's what, like the other day, I just watched Insidious, the first one, for the first time, and then immediately went to eBay and see if I could find the steelbook of it, which I did, and trying to battle to get them, but the bids are getting up there, so I'm not willing to spend that much on.
Did that one sell out? Is that one hard to get now?
I almost had one the other night, but of course somebody went in with 2 seconds left, bid it, and I lost it. And then I found another one.
It's not even on Amazon anymore. You gotta get on eBay to get it now.
Yeah. Right. Well, it might be on Amazon. I didn't even check. I was just trying to get it as a steal, but it ain't appearing to be a steal. It's costing me more money. But what you collect, pretty much any kind of physical media. It doesn't matter the genre, whatever. Or
I don't care. I like movies, and I have an open mind about everything. Now there is stuff that I've watched I'm not too into. There's also different genres and stuff that I've explored that I really have turned out to love. Like I'm really into Italian cinema. I love the giallo films,
nice.
And spaghetti westerns and stuff, and just the western genre as a whole. I really kind of fell in love with last year. Like I did a themed month on my channel. I was like, all right, I haven't really watched westerns at all in my life. I'm going to dive in and watch like 20 westerns this month. And I really loved like almost every one that I watched. So that's a genre that I really love now that I didn't give the time of day before to.
That's definitely a genre that I've never dove into.
Yeah.
But like you said, you seem way more open-minded than me, so you're willing to give stuff a chance. Where I'm pretty much just like.
But I'm sure you've seen some in your life, like the Quick and the Dead. You probably seen that one.
My dad used to watch all that stuff back in the day, so I probably watched some of them with him. He wasn't into horror movies like
Unforgiven. Unforgiven. Have you seen that one? Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman. That's a good one. I had never seen any of those movies growing up, so. Well, the Quick and the Dead I had seen, but a lot of them I just kind of steered clear of. I just didn't think I'd be interested.
That's probably that's what I do. I don't give stuff a chance when I probably should, just to see if I even like it. You know what I mean? I just assume I'm not going to like something, and then I just stay away from it forever. And then people are like, dude, you really didn't see any of these movies? And I'm like, no, but.
Do you like any of Tarantino's films? Quentin Tarantino?
I'm so bad at movies. I think the only one I've seen was from Dusk Till Dawn, if he even did that one.
All right, I actually got the VHS right here because I did a video on this today.
Yes, I've seen that one.
He wrote that one, and I think he wrote it. He either co-wrote it. I think he co-wrote it with Robert Rodriguez, and Robert Rodriguez directed it.
He was in that one too, right?
And he was in it too. Yeah, it was like one of his only starring roles. He was George Clooney's brother. That was
actually about a year ago. I saw that for the first time. So,
well, Dusk Till Dawn's got some westerny vibes to it.
You're right. You're right. It's in like the desert and stuff.
But if you've seen Django, like that's definitely kind of a western. Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I've heard of it. Never watched it.
But the Dollars trilogy, I would recommend you watch those. Those are classic. Clint Eastwood. Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more. Good, the Bad, the Ugly. Those are all great.
I've heard of those for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely heard of those. But what is your favorite genre if you had to choose?
Oh, it's nowadays. I would say 15 years ago it was comedy and horror, like neck and neck tied. But now it's horror for sure.
Comedies were good back in the day, but the stuff they can do just doesn't work.
They don't put any good ones out anymore, and it's kind of just killed my love for the genre. But I mean, I still love going back and watching the older ones that I love from time to time. Actually, me and my wife did a double feature last night. We watched Bring It On from 2000, and we watched Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion.
I've seen Bring It On.
Bring It On's more like a teen, movie. Not really more of a straight, but it's kind of a comedy too. But Romeo and Michelle's High School Reunion is hilarious. That's
Lisa Kudrow's in that one, right?
Yeah, Lisa Kudrow and I think Nina Suvari is in that. I think that's her name.
Okay, I've seen Bring It On. I've heard of the second one, so we're making progress here.
Yeah.
Let me see. All right, ask everybody that comes on.
You did not expect to talk about tonight.
Did not expect to talk about Bring It On.
I watch everything, man. I love movies.
They got spirit fingers, and that's all you need to know about that movie.
I did not see that movie in probably 15 years.
It's not a bad movie,
I
really.
used to watch it a lot. I loved all those movies though, like American Pie and Bring It On and Can't Hardly Wait, and like those were all my jam.
All them early
middle
2000s.
school and high school. Yeah.
Yep, I love so horror's your favorite genre. I ask everybody that comes on here because most people that come on here are horror fans.
It's been horror since the beginning.
Then that's the most important thing. What is your favorite out of the big three? Are you a Jason guy, a Michael guy, or a Freddy guy?
It's a tough question to answer. I guess I won't, turn my back on him now, even though I'm not a big fan of the newer movies. But I'm a Halloween guy, I would say.
All right.
If I'm going to answer your question honestly,
okay.
Yeah, I watched Freddy first. Like Freddy was kind of my introduction to horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like back because I was watching Freddy when I was like 7 or 8, years old. I actually think that Freddy's Dead was probably my first Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
Nice.
And it's the most accessible movie for like an 8-year-old to watch because it is like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
It pretty much is.
But I still have a deep-rooted nostalgia and love for that movie, even to this day. So I would love to say that I'm a Nightmare on Elm Street guy because I love those movies first. And then I loved the Friday the 13th movies next. But when I discovered Halloween, that was just something different for me when I was like 11 or 12. And it just took over my life like until into my 20s. So
yeah,
I would say that has defined the majority of my horror fandom.
Then you're in the right place, my friend, because Halloween is my favorite, obviously. I started horror with Friday the 13th. My older brother would always watch them, the first like 4, so I was always watching them with him. So I was into Jason first, but then once I hit Halloween, like you said, it was just something about it on another level for me. I connected better with Halloween, and definitely my favorite, even though a lot of people don't like the new trilogy, which
I'm not a fan.
I'm not a fan. I loved it, so we're opposite on that one, but that's okay.
I loved 2018 when I saw it in the theaters. I loved 2018. I really did. I was like, all right, Halloween's back, because Rob Zombie's the one that started killing my love for Halloween back in 2007. He started it.
It's his
fault. Like, all right, Halloween's back 2018, and then I hated Halloween Kills. Hated it with a passion.
That's where I was.
And Halloween Ends, look, I watched it on Peacock only once, and I was like, this is different, but they didn't go all the way with the Corey Cunningham storyline, and I wish they would have went all the way with it. If they would have done that, I would have liked the movie more.
Really?
So it's okay. I'll watch it again someday. I'm just not in a big hurry to watch it. I don't think it's an abomination. I didn't hate it, but I just think that as the trilogy, as good as it started, I just think it's a failure. It's kind of the same thing. I always compare it to Star Wars, the new Star Wars trilogy. I love The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi, I was like, that was different. And then they just killed my love for Star Wars with Rise of Skywalker. So it's kind of the same thing.
Another franchise that I know nothing about, and that's okay.
Yeah. Very similar. Star Wars and Halloween are very similar because they're both generational. People grow up with different installments.
Yeah.
Like there's prequel kids, there's original Star Wars kids, there's new Star Wars kids, and it's the same thing with Halloween.
Yep, we got the original
Halloweens, Rob Zombies, and the new ones.
Yeah, you're right. It's definitely different for people. Usually hate the fact that Corey was even involved in Ends at all, but you, on the other hand, like it and wanted him to keep pursuing that avenue, and then they just went back to the usual shit to end the movie.
Yeah. I think they should have. I think Corey should have just gutted his butt in the sewer and the end of it.
Yeah, I can imagine how the other Halloween fans would have appreciated that.
But at the very end of the movie, when Corey rides off in the Michael Myers mask on the motorcycle, you could have panned off to the sewer, and then you could have had Michael in there with his eyeball open, and that would have been the end of the movie. He's still out there. We got 2 Michael Myers, warring Michael Myers.
That would be pretty cool. I was hoping the way that it did play out, I was kind of hoping that Corey would have survived the end and Michael not break his neck. That way that if they wanted to make more movies, they wouldn't be Michael movies, but they'd be Corey's movies as Michael, I guess. But
yeah, that could have been cool.
They had to kill him.
It just felt like it's like it was just pointless. I was like, why did you all even do that? You just pissed off a bunch of people to just end it in a very traditional way that everybody would have enjoyed had you not jerked them around for the first hour and a half of the movie.
Yeah, I know. It's a love or hate movie for the most part. You know, a lot of people hate it, a lot of people love it. There's not really too many people in the middle, so it's nice to see you have that opinion of kind of the middle ground. You liked it, but wish they would have done some things, did a little differently.
Yep, for sure.
I got a question from Antonis in the chat. He said, "What is Ken's favorite horror movie?"
The Exorcist.
Interesting. Are you looking forward to the new trilogy? Trilogy? Okay.
No, because it's the same guy doing them. I think David
worry.
Gordon Green's best movie is Pineapple Express, and it's probably always going to be that. Have you seen
Pineapple Express is amazing.
Have you seen the movie Joe with Nicolas Cage that he did?
Yes.
That might actually be like pound for pound his best movie. And I think it's one of Nicolas Cage's most underrated performances.
Nicolas Cage is the man.
Yeah.
Did you like Renfield?
I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. It was okay. It's kind of weird with the whole like mob storyline and stuff. And Aquafina and everything. I wish they would have went in a different direction story wise. I like Nicolas Cage's Dracula. I love the other guy too, Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he was good.
Renfield. I thought everybody was good in it. I just I didn't like the story as much, I guess.
It was kind of weird that Dracula.
It's a good movie though. It's a good
teamed up with the mobsters and the gangbangers. So, but it was a lot of fun. I thought it was super action packed. I had a good time with it.
But going back to The Exorcist, I'm honestly heads or tail. I've been thinking about this a lot. If I'm even going to see it.
Oh,
I don't even know if I want to watch it. Because The Exorcist is sacred to me. I think it's the scariest horror film ever made. And it's a movie that I've been watching since I was like 11 or 12. And it's changed with me over time. I find it scary now for completely different reasons. And I just think it's a perfect movie. And I don't want to see the continuation of that. And David Gordon. I don't want to see it in anybody's hands, honestly.
True.
You know, much less somebody like David Gordon Green who just massacred the Halloween franchise.
Hey, he didn't massacre it for everyone. Okay, I enjoyed it, except for kills.
And this movie written by Danny McBride just makes me want to hurl.
Kills. I walked out of the theater and I was like, "What the hell was that?" I was like, "What did I just watch?" And then I went home.
Started off so good though. I love the flashback stuff.
Yeah, the flashback was perfect.
So, yeah.
I watched it again on Peacock as soon as I got home, and I was like, I like it a little bit better. I watched it a few more times. I've grown to enjoy it. I don't love it, but I definitely enjoy it for Michael killing people, obviously, because that's all it is. Because there's no plot to that movie at all.
Yeah.
But it was fine for me. And The Exorcist, I've only seen it once, and I didn't really like it. So that's another movie that we differ on. But it's
okay.
I just don't know why. I just never got it. I'm not really that huge into Exorcist kind of movies, so that's probably why.
The Exorcist, The Shining, and The Thing are all hovering in the top 3 spot for me. I could probably interchange any of them.
Okay.
The Exorcist is the one that I feel like just edges them out because I feel like I'm the most scared when I watch that movie.
True.
And I watch horror to be scared most of the time. That's why I started watching it. So that one kind of edges them out. But I love The Thing. I could see that becoming my favorite horror movie.
The Thing, yeah. Thing's amazing. The Shining, definitely a slow burn. Not really a huge fan of slow burns, but The Shining, I really did like The Shining, and I really like Dr. Sleep as
Dr. Sleep was great.
Follow-up.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. I didn't think that I would, but I really enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I had a good time with it.
I agree. I thought they did about as good a job as they possibly could have with that.
Yeah, for real. It was. So what's... I'm assuming your favorite Halloween movie would be the original?
No.
No.
It's Halloween 2.
Oh.
I put it as my favorite because the thing is that when I think about, I watch Halloween and Halloween 2 together like every year,
Mhm.
every Halloween, and that's pretty much the only time I watch those movies.
Mhm.
So I kind of see them as one movie. And when I'm
True.
thinking about it, I have the most. It's like when I was a kid and I was watching both those movies, I was always I liked the first part, but I always wanted to get to the second one. I just loved getting to the hospital setting, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was cooler and it had more kills, and I just thought there was more going on. So when I really think about it, if I see them both as the same movie to me, because it takes place in one night, I enjoy the second half of that movie better. So technically, the second one would be my favorite then.
Okay. That's
But really, I see them as one movie,
one
and
whole movie.
that those two together, that combination would be my favorite Halloween movie.
Okay. That knocks out two birds with one stone then. So, okay, setting those two apart then, what would be your favorite sequel in the franchise if we're counting those as one whole?
Four.
Okay.
4 is the first one I ever saw. I got that on VHS from my uncle on Christmas. He gifted me that, and I was like, he knew I loved Freddy and Jason. He's like, you got to watch this guy, Michael. And for whatever reason, he gave me part 4. I guess that was the only one he could find.
Mm-hmm.
So I took that home and watched it, and I instantly wanted to go back and watch 1, 2, and 3 to see the events leading up to that. And then I watched 1 and 2 and loved them. And they both took place the same night. I remember I got a 3-pack at Walmart, 1, 2, and 3, and then I was like, oh, what happens next? And I put in the third one, and I fucking hated that movie.
What the hell is this?
When I was a kid, hated it. It's like, what the hell is this? And I threw that VHS tape away.
No.
And I wish that I did not.
Yeah.
I wish I did, because I love the movie now. But I still have my Halloween 1 and 2 VHS tapes, and I don't have 3. So yeah, I wish I would have done that. But I didn't watch the movie again until I think 5 years ago, because before 2018 came out, I did a marathon and rewatched them all. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give this movie a second chance. I'm online. I'm seeing some people say some good things about it, saying it's actually a good movie. I remember hating it, but I hated it because Michael wasn't in it. So I rewatched it. I was like, damn, this is actually a really great movie. And I still think it's the best John Carpenter score. I love the score in Halloween 3. The music is incredible. So I love it now. And but yeah, I wish I still had the VHS tape.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool to have.
But I was like 12 when I watched that movie.
Oh, well then you didn't know any better.
If it didn't have Michael, I wasn't all about it.
Garbage.
I
don't even remember when I watched Halloween 3 for the first time. But I think I went into it knowing Michael wasn't in it to begin with, so I kind of already knew what to expect.
Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of love for Halloween 3 recently. I don't know if it's
having a renaissance.
I don't know if a lot of those people really like it, or they're just kind of being like, yeah, I like Halloween 3 because all you people like Halloween 3 too. It's good. But
yeah, you'll see that sometimes.
Yeah, that's probably the one thing you're not going to see from me, because I hate most of the movies people like, so I can never get accused of that.
I see that happening with The Exorcist 3 recently too. There's a lot of Exorcist 3 fans. I do really like The Exorcist 3. That is a legitimately great movie. But to put it above the original, I feel like that's trolling a little bit, to be honest. I would never put that above the original.
Then I won't say anything.
Did you watch it? Did you watch it?
I just watched it the other day because I had a bunch of people.
Well, you're not a fan of the first one, and the third one's very different. It's kind of like a David Fincher movie.
I saw Brad Dourif in there, and I was like, yeah,
he's great in that movie. I think it's a really great movie. I love it.
I'm good for this.
I just can't put it above the first one.
I need to rewatch the first one, and then I know the second one is not good, right? It's like a retelling or something of the first one.
I've never seen the second one. I've only seen, because I've just heard horrible things. Like, people just talk. I've never heard anybody say a good thing about that movie. Like, not one good thing.
Nope.
So I've seen the first Exorcist. I watched the movie my whole life, and to be honest, I grew up just thinking that was the only one. I didn't even know about the other ones, or that there were sequels, until they came out with those ones in the 2000s. I remember seeing both of those in the theaters. I didn't know about 2 and 3 until probably 10 years ago. And I didn't feel like watching them then. I was like, they're probably not good. They're probably like the other crap ones that came out in the 2000s. So I always heard the second one sucked, but everybody started hyping up the third one. So I watched it, and it is really great.
It is, and Christian recommended it, and I was like,
yeah.
He keeps recommending movies, and he's like, he understands that I don't like a lot of things, but I'm giving him a shot, and I really did enjoy Exorcist 3, and then I just watched Paranormal Activity for the first time. I never saw it before.
I love those movies. I love them.
I gave it a 3 out of 5. That's fair.
I'm a sucker for the found footage stuff. It gets me.
It seemed really, really like super real. And I'm probably because the budget was so low that it pretty kind of was real. But
you got to watch those movies alone.
In the dark.
In the dark. And it's like whenever I watch a found footage movie in the dark, like I'm always like looking over my shoulder like every 2 seconds.
That's what he told me to do.
Something over in the corner. But I love those movies. The first 3, they actually tell a good story. And I think that 1, 2, and 3, I think it's like a horror trilogy masterpiece. All 3 of those movies. I think you would love the third one. Third one does ups the ante a lot, and it adds in a lot of cool like camera tricks and stuff. It's a cool movie.
So I don't even know. I'm assuming the first Paranormal Activity went to theaters though. Did it go to theaters even with that low budget?
Oh yeah, it was a monster success too. Like it made tons. I don't know exactly how much money it made, but it was like it was something to like 1,000 times its budget or something. Wow. It made back, or it might be more than that. I can't remember. I think it made millions of dollars, and there was. I remember the promotional campaign for it when it was coming out, and they were showing the audience. I think it was like the first time they did stuff like that, where they would show the audience like the green, like in the night vision kind of thing. And they were all like freaking out and stuff in the previews. I didn't see the first one in the theater. And I watched 2 and 3 in the theater.
Nice. I'm gonna move on to number 2 and see how that one goes for me. Yes, Garrett, I know. I love that Facci shits on everything. I'm not shitting on it. I just don't like stuff. It's nothing personal against the movies or whatever. Or if other people like them, that's fine. It's just more for everybody else to love.
If you don't like it, what do you want him to say? He likes it when he doesn't like it? If you don't like it, you don't like it.
That's what you're going to get. If I like pretty much Michael and Jason and Scream, and that's about it. I don't like to go too far out of my zone. I'm trying here, okay?
You're trying. You watched The Exorcist 3 and liked it.
Yeah, it was good. And Paranormal Activity 1 was fine. I'm not a found footage guy, but it was fine.
I mean, I was kind of in the same boat as you before I got like more into this and collecting and stuff. And I kind of watched a lot of mainstream, horror movies, and I didn't really steer too far out of my comfort zone, in my teens and 20s and stuff. There's definitely, stuff that I remember watching when I was a kid, other than Halloween and Jason and Freddy.
Yeah.
It wasn't until recently that I started, discovering other horror films through all of these physical media releases and stuff. Definitely a lot that I heard about when I was a kid. I just, never checked out.
Yeah,
the Child's Play movies were other ones that were very close to my heart when I was growing up. I loved those as well. Yeah,
definitely. I definitely probably watched those just as much as probably Halloween and Friday the 13th.
Puppet Master, I was a huge fan of. I'm trying to remember because all this goes back to the video store. Like every single Saturday nights, we would get out of like not midnight mass, but I was raised Catholic, and we got out of like a mass on Saturday night, and my mom would take me to the video store, and I was like 9 or 10 or 11 or whatever, and she would say I could pick out 3 movies, and I would always go to the horror section. And over the course of a couple of years, I rented out the entire horror section. So whatever was in that horror section at my video store, those are the movies that I watch. And if it wasn't there, and if I grew up not knowing about it or not watching it, it's because it wasn't in that section growing up. So I have a lot of like weird gaps here and there, like Sleepaway Camp 2 I saw before the first one.
Really?
That was in the video store. But I remember watching all the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, the Howling movies. I watched all those. Those are just franchises I can. Prom Night 2 I used to watch, and I've still never seen the original Prom Night, but I've only seen Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2.
Hello Mary Lou. I think a lot of people prefer the second one over the original Prom Night.
I mean, I would say so because that's the only one I've seen. but still, that's one that doesn't have a solid Blu-ray release, and everybody's kind of waiting and clamoring for that to get a good edition, and it
I
hasn't.
saw that. Yeah.
So hopefully that happens sometime in the near future.
Wow. Wayne Turner says, "Hi all. It's 11:32 a.m. Thursday here in Sydney, Australia. I am in the future." Well, you are in the future. That's amazing. Well, thanks for coming in here. So what's a horror franchise that you think is kind of like underrated or underappreciated? What's a franchise that comes to your mind?
Damn. That's a tough question. I want to say Paranormal Activity just because I feel like people think it's a one-trick pony and it's a shtick, but I actually feel like there's a really good story that's being told in those first three that people don't give it credit for. But we already talked about that. I was trying to think of something else. I don't know, really. I can't think of one I feel like it's underrated.
A lot of people toss out Hellraiser. That's what I get a lot of the time.
I wouldn't say Hellraiser. That's I mean, the first two are great. The first two are fantastic, and the third one's fun. And I like Bloodline. That's another franchise I grew up with. I love those 4 original Hellraisers. But the first two are like legitimate masterpieces in my opinion. But like as soon as I got into Inferno, and Hellseeker and Hellworld, it's like those movies are freaking unwatchable. They're not even Hellraiser movies. They're just scripts that somebody wrote, detective scripts, generic scripts that add in Pinhead in the last 3 minutes.
They really are all detective stories.
I wouldn't say Hellraiser's underrated because I feel like people say that the first couple, people praise the first couple, but everybody knows all the rest of them kind of suck.
True.
Yeah, I can't answer that. I'm trying to think. If I think of something, I will come back.
It's Puppet Master, isn't it?
It's Puppet. Look, I love the first 5 Puppet Master movies, but that's another franchise that falls off a cliff. I feel like after you get past 5.
I can't remember. I just rewatched 1 through 3, and I can't really remember anything after that.
Yeah.
But
I was gonna say no. I feel like I like the Final Destination series.
That's been brought up as well.
But I feel like that's one that a lot of people still enjoy.
They're good. I do enjoy. They're a good time, but they're just not. I've never really gotten into those movies that intensely. I really can't remember anything past the 3rd one. I know that was the one with the roller coaster, and then the 4th and 5th one, I have no idea what they're about. I've seen them, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I want to say the 4th one was a race car.
The 4th one was a race car, yeah. The 3rd one's definitely my favorite.
The 3rd? Really?
Yeah, I remember I was a theme park, junkie when I was a kid. I loved going to a theme park and riding roller coasters and stuff. And so I always had that thought in my head, like what would happen if the roller coaster went off the tracks or the harnesses blew up or something out of nowhere. I was like, why doesn't anybody make a movie about that? Boom. And maybe they had. But when that trailer came out for the 3rd one, I was like, holy shit, they're doing it. They're doing the roller coaster. and I saw that movie in the theaters, and I just loved it. I love the 3rd one.
They did it.
Yeah.
Here's a question. I just actually got. Hi, guys. Do you know when World War Z is coming out on 4K, and what do you guys think about that movie?
I saw it once.
Me too.
I thought it was okay.
I don't remember anything. Brad Pitt's in it.
Brad Pitt is, in fact, in it.
I bought
there's a lot of running zombies. I just remember hordes of zombies moving like waves and running over walls and falling. It was raining zombies. It just, I don't know. That's not the kind of zombie movie I really enjoy.
Like I said, I saw it one time. Don't remember anything. Bought the steelbook just because it was cheap. And
yeah, I do own it, but I'm not upgrading that one to 4K.
It's an addiction, like you said. I got a bunch of movies that I don't really care about, but the covers look cool and the artwork on the steelbooks. I was like, I'm gonna get that. Why not?
Yeah, I mean that's
Um,
half my collection. You know, I don't plan on actually watching it. I just like to look at the pretty covers. You know,
I
especially the
feel,
Vinegar Syndrome stuff.
I feel you on that. So how many? If you had to take a guess, how many movies are probably in your collection?
Oh, I'd say I'm teetering around 3,000 right now,
Oh
give
my
or take.
God.
And I know that seems like a lot, but it's like a lot of the people that I interact with on here, like
More.
I'm on the lesser side. I feel
Wow.
like Garrett who's in the chat. I'm sure he's got like 4 times more than I do,
Holy shit.
but he's been doing it for a lot longer as well.
So besides like the Blu-rays and steelbooks and stuff, do you collect like other like posters and other merch as well?
No, I try to keep it to just movies. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to put out a second mortgage on my house, and
Okay.
I don't want to do that.
No.
I'm able to manage this one addiction that I have,
Uh-huh.
so I try not to stray too far out of that. Um, but I do see everybody else collecting this cool stuff. I did pick up a couple of vinyls from Waxwork Records recently.
Mhm.
I'm not saying I'm going to get into vinyl collecting hardcore, but they were really cool. There was like a Reanimator one in the thing, so I grabbed those scores on vinyl, and I may try to pick a couple of those up here and there. So
Nice.
I have some posters, but most of them are from like the Scream Factory releases. They'll give you a poster,
Oh,
and
yeah.
most of the time if you order from their website. So
Mhm.
a lot of my posters just come with the Blu-rays or whatever that I buy anyway. If it's
Mhm.
like a package deal.
The only posters I even went out of my way to get were really just Halloween ones, and it helps when you read, the dimensions of those posters, and then you find out how big it really is. And then I was like, where the hell am I putting this thing in the limited space I have? But it's totally worth it if you're into that. I know Garrett has a million posters. Obviously, he rotates them in and out. They look really cool, but that's kind of
I know a few people that are hardcore into collecting the posters, and I think they look awesome. But it's
they
just
do.
I can't get into that. I know myself, and that stuff just gets way too expensive. I do collect, some pops and some NECA figures and some things like that from time to time. I don't get too deep into it, but I try to limit it to just like horror stuff. Like with the pops and stuff, I got a lot of pop horror characters and things. But I've got so many movies out here now. I don't even have a lot of them displayed. I put most of them in the closet over there. So half the time I forget I even have them.
Yeah.
I like getting those little Toonie Terror things. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Or
Yes, yeah. I seen that.
I thought those were really cool for a while, so I got like 10 or 11 of those.
I really like the NECAs.
Yeah, the NECAs are like $35-$40, but the Toonie Terrors were like $13. So in my mind, I was like, that's the cheaper option. So I got those. And I get a NECA every now and then. I think I've got like 5 of them. I did get that one that was at GameStop. It was the old NES Friday the 13th Jason.
Okay.
Because when you open it, it plays the music from the game.
Nice.
It got me super nostalgic because I used to play that game all the time. So I do have that one.
I would love to collect NECAs, but my kids will probably get them and destroy them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and not do that because I bought my son one. I got him a Leatherface, and he ripped the legs off in the arm. So I was like, yeah, we're not doing this no more. We're not gonna buy these.
I feel you, man.
So we're
My
good.
daughter will come down here if she sees a pop or something. She wants it, and she immediately wants to take it out of the box. So she hasn't gotten to my NECAs, but the pop, she's gotten to a couple of them. And then I'll always find some freaking marker drawing on the back. Like, why did you feel the need to draw on this? I don't know.
Kids do whatever they want. That's why.
Kids.
I know. I really wanted to buy the big Michael Myers ones. I don't even know what. I think they're maybe 12 inches tall or whatever, but I just can't bring myself to spend $120, $130 on those. As awesome as they are, but I just can't do it. I'd love to, but that's a lot of money. Yeah. When I can get a bunch of steelbooks or whatever for that price of that one thing.
So. Yeah, that's how I think of it. I don't know, and I'm just into collecting the movies right now.
Me too.
Like if I get this like big figure, I'm like, that's all my movies for the month. I can't buy any movies this month if I get that.
It's true. They look great, but I just can't do it. I'm fairly new to the collecting the movies, so I don't have that many at all. But like you said, you buy movies and then you put them somewhere and you don't even realize you have them. And then you're looking through and like, wait, I bought this. I have this movie.
Yeah.
They just get lost, you know? And I guess that's how it happens whenever you keep collecting, like, especially like you do and how the other bigger collecting YouTube channels grow.
Yeah. And back in the day, it's like you probably grew up in the same era I did. We didn't consider it collecting back then. We were just buying the movies. Everybody bought DVDs back in the 2000s and stuff. That's just what you did. You went to every single house had a shelf of DVDs. And VHSs on it back in the day.
I did, had them alphabetical order. Every time I got a new one, I had to shift them down and move them all around.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was either my grandma or aunt or somebody, they put like little stickers on the side of them. They would number them.
Wow.
So it's almost like they were creating their own like numbered line, which all kinds of boutique labels and stuff do now. But every time they didn't do them in alphabetical order, just every time they got a new movie, they would put like number 122 or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty cool, actually, to let you know the order that you bought them in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I can't do that now. I'd never be able to figure that out. Let's go back real quick. I know we were having a tough time coming up with an underrated franchise. I just saw a couple in the chat. Phantasm, I saw that a bunch.
I've seen the first two. I haven't seen the ones after. I did like those movies, though. I did.
3 and 4, or 3's good. 4's okay. The last one, you don't need to worry about it.
Ravager.
It's not good, so don't worry about it.
All right, I'll check them out someday.
I got some Hatchet in there. Hatchets are fine. I've seen them all, but
they're goofy. They're pretty much like I put those in the category of like scary movie. They're spoofs, pretty much. They're kind of spoof horror movies.
Over the top.
Yeah.
The Purge. Interesting.
I really only like the first Purge, to be honest.
That's what I thought until I rewatched it, and I was like, "This movie is so slow." I love Ethan Hawke.
That's one with Ethan Hawke in it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I love Ethan Hawke.
I saw it in the theaters. I remember seeing it in theaters, and I remember really liking it. And I have not seen it since, so it's not a movie that I was compelled to watch again.
Okay, but I think you might change your mind, maybe, but
probably.
It was cool at the time, you know, thinking, what if they really do that? What if that is a real thing? And then they just kept making the movies. And I think they're making another one, which is 6 or 7. I don't know how long they can keep those going, but I guess they make money somehow. Let me see. See if there's any more questions in the chat for you. So what? Oh, what did you ask, Kenny? Oh, Dude who loves Cody told me to ask you about his favorite actress, Florence Pugh.
He's trolling. He knows I don't like that actress. Florence Pugh is what I call her, and I hold my nose every time.
Why can't I think of who that is?
Good. You don't need to know who it is. I'm not even gonna talk about any movie she's been in or nothing. Just live in the world where you don't know. Everybody loves her, but I'm not a big fan.
Is that the lady from Midsommar?
Yeah.
I don't know. I knew that immediately. I don't know why I knew that, but
she cry face acts all the time. That's the only thing she knows how to do.
Oh man, the fucking Midsommar.
I'm not a big fan of Midsommar.
Thank you. What about A24 in general?
Oh, I like A24.
Okay, I don't. Okay.
I do understand. Because I've heard you say you're not into A24. Their horror stuff can be very divisive sometimes, but I would encourage you to see some of their non-horror stuff if you haven't.
I have not.
Because they have some other just really good movies. Like 8th Grade is an A24 movie, and it's just like a coming-of-age movie about a girl in 8th grade and just kind of the awkwardness of being in the 8th grade. It's a really good movie. So they have like regular movies, like mid-90s. Takes place in the 90s, so you have all the 90s nostalgia. They're like playing Super Nintendo and stuff and skateboarding.
Awesome.
And it's just about a kid in the 90s. So there's some other just like regular good movies from it. If the Florida Project's amazing, that has Willem Dafoe in it. So, but I get like some of their horror stuff is very, elevated, I guess, if you want to call it that. That's what people.
That's the word.
Which, I don't really get down with that. I like all different kinds of horror.
I honestly didn't know they made anything else. I didn't know they had other movies outside of the horror
No,
movies
I
that
could
they
I
made.
could bring over an entire stack of non-horror movies that are all
did not know that.
great. Like The Disaster Artist. You ever heard of that movie with
Nope,
James
never heard of
Franco
it.
and Seth Rogen? And it's basically just about the making of the movie The Room, which is like the greatest bad movie ever made.
I
You
heard
of
that.
one. So this movie's about the making of that movie, and it's got Seth Rogen and James Franco's playing Tommy Wiseau, and it's an amazing movie. It's a great. I'd say it's one of the best like modern comedies today. But yeah, they do a lot of different kind of stuff other than horror. Like Ex Machina. Ex Machina is a great science.
I've heard of that one. I've heard of that. Is Cody asks, is Red Rocket A24?
Red Rocket is A24. I would reluctantly recommend that. I really did like that movie, but it's the subject matter is kind of disgusting and despicable in some parts of the movie. The lead character is not somebody you should root for, but they try to make him extremely likable in the film.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that movie can rub people the wrong way. I can tell you a movie that from A24 I absolutely hate. It's called Under the Skin with Scarlett Johansson, and I despise that movie. I hate it. So there are some there. I love A24 just because they can it kind of just feels like they're the only like production studio that's just letting their creators and directors just kind of run free and actually have a vision with their films. But some of their movies I hate, like despise. I'm glad they exist because some people love them, and it's good to have that voice out, different voices out there. But the movies I love, I really love from them. Like The Witch is one of my favorite horror movies. Yeah, I love The Witch. I'm a big Witch fan. Huge.
You can have it.
Massive.
You can have it.
You know what? I got this nice Second Sight edition right here of The Witch. 4K.
Ugh.
Got Black Phillip on the back.
I do like him. He's a good time.
Yeah.
He does. I love goats. It cracks me up, but I hated the movie a lot.
Ex Machina is probably my favorite A24 movie, though, and that's the one with it's the AI robots. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Played by Alicia Vikander. That's a great movie. Great movie.
My favorite A24 film and only A24 film that I enjoy is Tusk.
Tusk is wild.
It just makes no sense.
I watched that before I even knew what A24 was. I remember renting that back in 2010, I think, when it came out. Because it was Kevin Smith, and I grew up being a huge Kevin Smith fan. I loved Kevin Smith in high school. So I kind of, committed to watching every one of his movies for better or for worse. It was interesting.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
But the ending's like nuts, and I was like, what is this? Like, is this supposed to be a horror movie? Is it supposed to be a comedy? It's got like two different wild tones.
They're like feeding him fish.
That movie Yoga Hosers, though, that was fucking dumb. So dumb. I don't know if you've seen that one.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen that one either.
Yeah, don't ever watch that. That.
I think I just like Tusk a lot because it was freaking
Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin Long was in it, so I loved pretty much for that. Johnny Depp was in it, and most people were like, "No, he's not," and I was like, "Yeah, he is." He just didn't know that was him.
Yeah, really cool premise too. I remember the trailer, thinking it was pretty cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know. He had to die in Canada. That's all I remember, and he didn't die though. It had me cracking up when he dressed up as a walrus then, and he's fighting the other one. Now, freaking lost it.
It's been such a long time. I do have that movie. I found it with a slip cover, which if you don't know, Facci is the most coveted thing you can have as a physical media collector. A slip cover for your case. The movie is pretty much unwatchable unless you have this little piece of cardboard that goes over it.
Oh, I did not know that.
Interesting. I don't know if you knew that.
I'm not a huge fan of the slipcover, but I know.
Oh, are you one of those that throw them away?
No, they're still here. I just don't care if I have them. I used to think they were really cool, like when I'd go to Walmart and I'd have to get the one with the slipcover, but I don't really care anymore.
Well, I would say don't throw them away, even if you don't like it, because the slipcover and collectors have gotten pretty crazy. There's a lot of them that are worth a lot of money because people want those slipcovers.
I was on eBay, and you know, you look through the movies, and then you click on the description, and then it's not even the movie; it's just the slipcover for like $11.99. And I was like, really? Just the cover?
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, it means that you bought the movie, you know, when it first came out, pretty much. So it's kind of like the first run kind of thing. So I am a slipcover person, though. I will not pick something up if it doesn't release with a slipcover, even if I want the movie on 4K. If there's no slipcover, I'm like,
really?
Because you can buy it any time, you know, so there's no rush. Like if there's nothing collectible about it, then
yeah,
I
that's
don't
a
have
good
to
point.
get it. I've got so many movies I need to watch anyway. It's like if even if it's a movie I love, like Upgrade just came out on 4K, and I love that movie so much. It's one of my favorite movies the past like 5 years, and I didn't get it because Screen Factory didn't put it out with a slipcover. And it's like, I'll get it eventually. I can wait for a sale, you know, if there's no slipcover, because there's no reason for me to get it right away.
I didn't think about it like that. That's kind of why. As soon as I see you post about steelbooks and stuff, I jump on them, because now the ones that I do want are just so expensive, and I don't really want to pay that much.
If there's one tip I can give you, if you're a steelbook collector, that's what you gravitate towards. Like, as soon as you see anybody post about those, or you see those come out, you pre-order them immediately, because a lot of them will go out of stock very fast.
That's, like I said, I saw you, the Maximum Overdrive, you posted, pre-ordered immediately. I think I saw you post about Scream 6, the steelbook, when it was available.
Yeah.
Jumped on, pre-ordered that immediately. So you're definitely a go-to for myself and probably a lot of other, you know, collectors and stuff for getting information. So I really enjoy it.
I try to cover everything. Like, you know, the mainstream stuff, the boutique labels. You know, I do a show every Monday called the Physical Media Report. And all week long, I'm like collecting information and announcements and stuff to put out on that show. So I try to cover all the bases every week to let people know what's coming.
Yeah, see? Cody says Ken is basically an Oscar winner. I saw it.
Yeah, he's talking about I can't even reach it right now, but he sent me an Oscar last year. This is probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me since I started YouTube. But I did a video, just a stupid little video, back in, I think it was 2021, the end of 2021. But this American Psycho steelbook, I don't know.
I want that one.
But it's real cool because it's like he's taking off his face mask
cover
with the slip cover. And I made this. I just did a top 10 steelbooks of 2021, and I said that this was my favorite of 2021. And I went on and on about it as to why it was my favorite. And this Lionsgate, the company that you know put this out, saw that, and they do this thing called the Clio Awards every year. And I think there's all different kinds of things in the Clio Awards, but there was like a packaging award, like best packaging from a studio, and they were up for best packaging for this, and they submitted my footage.
No way.
For talking about their steelbook in my video that I did like a year before, and it helped them win the award for this movie. And somebody sent me like a picture of my face, like up on the same screen that they do the Oscars on, like because the Clio Awards takes place in the same building they do the Oscars at, and they were playing my video up on this big screen that they do the Oscars on. And I made a video about it, and I was just kind of joking. I was like, I'm basically an Oscar winner now. And then Cody, the dude who loves movies,
did it.
Sent me this Oscar in the mail with my name.
What a dude!
which is also super cool.
Awesome. You pretty much.
And yeah, the guys in the chat right now, No Bad Movies, the guy that sent me the picture of it. Keep calling out.
There it is. That's awesome. That's freaking pretty cool, man. And I've been trying to get that steelbook, but it's very expensive, so I never get it. But
you gotta jump on them. This was $19.99 when it came out.
Now it's like $70, and
I'm surprised they didn't put it back in stock, because Lionsgate will do that sometimes. They'll put some of their steelbooks back in stock.
I just every so often just go on all these websites and I just check and see what they got, see if they got anything new. Any good deals, but it's definitely an addiction that is not good, and it costs a lot of money. But I enjoy getting all the new ones and checking them out, and obviously you do, because your collection is amazing. And I can't thank you enough for all you do on the Instagram and sharing all that stuff, because it really helps other people like myself that's new getting into this thing, discovering movies that are coming out. So it's really awesome you do that.
Just gotta manage it and just get the movies that you're interested in, the ones that you love.
That's what I've been trying. And then if I find some good deals of stuff I don't really like that much, but they're cool, then I'll go ahead and get those. But definitely start with the ones that I love the most. So
they run sales all the time. Like if something comes out like a week later, it'll be like $5 or $6 off sometimes. So sometimes it pays to wait a little bit.
Nice. I know.
Not on the steelbooks, but on everything else.
Yeah, steelbooks, you got to get them. I know Halloween H2O got a steelbook coming out, I think September, I heard.
It doesn't have an official announcement, but it's pretty much set in stone.
Yeah, so I'll be jumping on that one immediately. So
yeah,
got to keep an eye out for that. But yep, we went a little over an hour, the usual time for these things. So really appreciate you taking time out of your day to come on here and chat with me about all the cool stuff we talked about. Thanks to all the cool people in the chat, especially all the new people that are obviously here because Ken's here, but really appreciate you guys tuning in and stopping in. It really does mean a lot to me. Definitely going to keep checking out Ken's social medias, YouTube channel to find all the latest and greatest buys out there, because it really does help me out. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on here tonight and talking and having a good time. It means a lot.
Absolutely, man. Thank you so much for, thinking to invite me on. I appreciate it, and I had a good time. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, no problem. Of course. Yeah, you were so requested. I had no choice but to get you on here.
Yeah, I just find that hard to believe, but
I'm not joking.
I'll take it.
I had Garrett, Justin, Cody. They all said, "When are you going to get Ken on?" I was like,
all those rascals.
We'll do it. The raddest people on the planet. They wanted you.
Absolutely.
And they got it. Yeah. So
appreciate it, man.
No problem. No, thank you, all of you guys. Thank you for reaching out to me, Cody, Garrett, and Justin, for wanting me to get him on, because I had a blast talking to him, learning who and what Ken is all about. Definitely go subscribe to his channel if you are not. The link's down in the description box below. Click the like on the way out, and I will see you tomorrow night for special Friday the 13th original watch along. So come hang out with me, go to camp, drink a little beer, maybe not smoke anything, whatever you guys want to do. I don't really care. I don't do that stuff, but you guys can. But that's it. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.
See ya.